What up, YouTubers? I'm here at the Forge, and I just laid out my childhood favorite Risk game. It's called the Lord of the Rings Risk. And all the single pieces have been laid. That's how the game starts. You start out with 4 sections of cards. You place your pieces one at a time, and these shields are worth 10 if they're captured. They're also, from my version of the rules, they count as a leader, so they count as a troop. But if an opponent eliminates an enemy shield, they get 10 troops. So the trolls and the eagles are worth 5 troops. The horses and the ring wraiths are worth 3. The single units are obviously only just single. And then you have 3 leaders on each of the boards. So my troops are the golden elves. I've got 2 of my leaders in the Shire and 1 of them on the harbor. For the harbor moves, you can move from port to port, or you can take a turn at sea, and you can defend your port as you move troops. Attacking is 3 dice for attack, 2 dice for defense. Each country that you own is worth, just like in regular Risk, a certain amount. If you don't own a country, every turn I think you get 3 troops, plus the spaces that you own. So every 3 is a troop. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that would be 5 troops just from the countries that you added up, plus the 3 that you get per round. And so yeah, if you eliminate the shields, then you capture that and you can cash that in for troops on the preceding round or your next turn. And the goal is to take out an entire army. If you take out an army, then you eliminate that person. You can play with benefits there if you want. And yeah. This is Lord of the Rings Risk. I've played so many awesome games with these people. Anybody else out there know what I'm talking about? This game is so much fun, for real. So obviously, the Golden Elves, I've got a strategy. The Black Orcs, the Red Orc armies, and then the Green Wood Elves have their strategy as well. Some of these lands and territories are very hard to keep and conquer. And, obviously as the game goes on, the board looks much different once you start getting elite troops out on the board. And your attack strategies can differ tremendously depending on what your strategy is. And, this game is so much fun. If anybody wants to play, I have the game. I own it. And it is seriously like living Lord of the Rings, except the Risk version, dude. It's amazing. There's a reason that I strategize this way. You can win it in different ways, but it takes great tact and great strategy. So yeah, this is how it would go. Your first skirmishes, whoever gets the high rolling dice, right? So everybody rolls. If you roll 6 or 5, then it's a high roll. If it ties, then you and the person that tied would roll to get the first turn. And with the first turn, if I say I won it, I would probably attack from here to here. The defender would get 1 dice. A defense that rolls a 6 always wins, no matter what. But if they rolled a 5 and I rolled out of 3 and I rolled a 6, this troop would be dead. And then I would be able to take that position over. You have to take over. If you rolled 3, at least 3 soldiers have to go into that adjacent spot. And then attacking from here to here, here to here, potentially here and here to control the Shire. And then when your turn is over, like after you have a successful turn, you can move your troops. And you can move any number of amounts to your adjacent setting. Like there's a bridge right here. I could move another soldier into here and make that 4. And then there's something here. Say I lost some troops up here in the north. I can move these 2 in here. but you can only move them one at a time, one place, one country at a time, as long as they're connected. So yeah, and then you'd end your turn and you'd pass it to your person to your right. So then it would be the green elves' turn to fight. And then they would try and take out, you know, certain amounts here, certain amounts here, certain amounts there, and then maybe expand some of their borders up there, or just prepare for defense. The first round, I'm pretty sure you don't get to set out. Well, yeah, I think you actually do in the first round get to set out troops with what you have, like your 3, and then however you had. So I've got to set out 8 troops and then kind of fight from there. They'd set out some troops and fight from there. And then the same over here. Count up your total spaces, get your troops, and fight. So, barring they didn't lose any countries, they get about 8 troops. It's usually about the same. Like each of the first round, you get about 8 troops, so that's just this. Usually in your first round. So, all of the ones out on the table, and then you get about 8 troops for the first round until it goes to the next. So then these guys would try and take out some of the elves in Mordor, maybe push back there, defend the border right here. Maybe move out to sea up to the north to try and conquer the Shire or fight the Shire. You know what I'm saying? Moving up to attack from behind. And then, if it was the black turn, to put out 8, fortify Mirkwood, try and take the whole of Mirkwood for 1 round to get the 4, because Mirkwood, if you look here, Mirkwood is worth 4. If you hold a territory for a full round, especially in the first round, if you can get that, right? Put one of these here, and another one maybe right here, troll, and then attack from both sides, and then fortify. That's what we call it at the end of your turn. You fortify. So you took out all 4 of my elves and lost a few troops in the process. Then you can actually fortify from multiple locations. So if you won, you can even out your conquest. So yeah, this is Lord of the Rings Risk, and then the next turn would come. So these people would be at sea if they wanted to go north, or send some of them north, or the whole thing north, or they'd just wait right there. But then it'd be the second round. So then you count up your countries, 3 obviously, so there's 3 automatically coming to you, and then 1, 2, 3, about another 8, because you didn't conquer any shields. And that's the other thing that you gotta be aware of. If you conquer a whole troop, if you take out a whole troop, you get 10 automatically for the next round. So if you got one of their shields and captured a shield, you'd be getting 2 eagles. If you killed, you have to kill the whole of the unit though. So that's the other thing to keep in mind for the strategy of this game. So yeah, that is basically Lord of the Rings Risk until the whole world is conquered. And I forgot too, at the end of your turn you take a card. I think you start off with 3 cards each. And then if you match, I'll show you how the cards work too before my phone shuts off. If you match 3 of a kind, then you get the preceding value. So that'd be 3, that'd be a bummer one. You don't want to get 3 sets of those because that's only 3 troops. If you get 3 sets of horses, right? Then you get 3 horses. So that's 9 troops. Obviously much better. And if you get 3 of the eagles, then you get 15. So that's obviously the one you want to play is the 15. But you can also do it as well where it is, this is also a playable hand if you have this in your hand. You get 1, 3, and that. So that would be 1 plus 3, that's 4, and then 5 is also 9. So you play the value of the card and the set. So 9 troops, and if you have a full hand, you play the hand and then you discard the hand. You don't get those cards back. They go back at the bottom and you can shuffle it later if the deck gets empty before you're around. The longest Risk game I've ever played lasted a total of like 3 days, and honest to God, we probably had like 23 hours into it. This was my freshman year. It was probably the longest Risk game I ever played. They usually last around 5 hours if you're really good and you're playing with noobs, so to speak. But if you're playing with elite Risk players, dude, you can be playing this game for almost 22 hours. Seriously, if you know how to play the cards right and also fortify and keep your territories, it can go on for quite a while. So yeah, that is basically Lord of the Rings Risk. It is seriously so much fun. If you guys want to play, let me know. This is Alexander James Wiese, aka American Preacher 07. You guys have an awesome day and have fun. One ring to rule them all. One ring to find them. One ring to bring them all. And in the darkness, bind them. And I gotta end it with an Aragorn quote. There is always hope. There is always hope. I got some great stories with this game too. Peace.